The Professional Dairy Producers Business Conference is coming up March 12th through the 13th at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison. 2 days of world-class programming, leading research, and networking opportunities make this a premier event for Wisconsin dairy farmers. Mitch Breunig is among them. He owns Mystic Valley Dairy in Roxbury, milking about 400 cows and farming 1,100 acres. He makes the PDP Business Conference a priority, and he even recalls the first one he went to in Stevens Point back in 1995.
Yeah, and there's like 100 people in the room, and I don't think there was a trade show, and it was just really cool. I still remember, I always remember this. Gary Saporsky was in front of the room, and he was talking about, farmers knowing their cost of production. And, at that time, I farmed with my parents. I didn't really see the books, but it kind of got me inspired to, come home and, look at our cost of production and figure out, what the heck we were doing.
Now, I'm sure the topics have certainly changed over the years, although knowing your bottom line and cost of production is still a part of it. What have you seen over the years of how trends or topics at these types of events through professional dairy producers have changed?
I think what I found is relevancy. So, it's always sort of, sometimes you find out what you didn't know you needed to hear, and it's been topics that are very relevant to the markets or environment, or, now they've really got a lot of stuff on sustainability, and, that's the buzzword. But, there's a lot of farmers that are going to walk in that room and, I don't know what my carbon intensity is, and I don't even know where to start finding it. And there's some really good stuff that they're going to talk about, like farmers that have gone through it, sort of what the battle scars were and how they did it. And, a lot of times farmers really trust farmers, and this is a really good meeting where farmers are up in front talking about their experiences, and I've always found that very powerful.
Again, the PDP Business Conference, it's set for March 12th through the 13th at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison. Mitch, I wanted to ask you what you are most looking forward to out of this year's lineup.
So I think it's right out of the chute on that opening morning, Dan Bossi, Jacob Shapiro, and Eric Snodgrass, listening to any of those three alone, I could listen to those guys talk all day because they're just amazing, and their knowledge of the markets and the weather and how they all intertwine, and put all three of them up on stage, let them give a presentation about the tariffs, the weather we're going to have this year, and how the politics all fits into this. I mean, to me, that's worth the price of admission right there, and that's the first session. So anything after that will just be like gravy.
You're right. Markets and weather, things that have been important to the farm industry since the beginning of time. And then there's also some of those, nuanced topics. Maybe it's succession planning, carbon credits, or even taxes, for example. Mitch, I also know that you have another generation on the farm that's getting into the ag industry. How do you feel about some of the youth elements that are offered at a conference like this?
What I think is really cool is if you're a first-generation farmer or you're a, multi-level business, there's something for everyone there, and it's really a good conference to sort of meeting you where you're at. And so, when I first went, I was intimidated. I'm just this little 80-cow farmer from Roxbury, and the people that I see in the room, I just always idolized. And when you get to sort of rub shoulders and talk to them, we're all farmers. We all sort of have the same battles, and just getting away from the farm and not hearing what Dad and Grandpa say, it probably might be one of the most powerful things a young person in the dairy industry can do, because it's a great big world out there, and just because we've always done it that way doesn't mean we need to continue to do it that way.
If you're on the fence about going, Mitch Breunig says it's a valuable chance to invest in yourself and your farm.
The world really doesn't care about earning you a living. It's up for you to figure out how to do it on your own. And so getting out and getting that extra education to help your farm and your family succeed for this generation and the next generation is one of the most valuable things you can do.
Register today at pdpw.org. Walk-ins are welcome day of the business conference. Again, this is March 12th through the 13th at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison. Roxbury dairy farmer Mitch Breunig is going to be there, and he says you should be there too. For the Midwest Farm Report, I'm Stephanie Hoff.